When you decide that you want to change like every single aspect of your life, from like attractiveness to mental health, all these things, your social life becomes split. So there's basically two types of social lives you can have. The first one, which you probably have, which is what my younger self had, was like, imagine my younger self. I had these friends that I would still play video games with, and I remember it really hit me one night when I was learning about sleep and how it helped with like testosterone, building muscle health. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna start going to bed earlier. I'm gonna stop playing video games with them as much. And I remember one night they just started making fun of me for going to bed on time. And it really hit me then how your social life becomes split once you want to improve your life, because you still have these old friends, and most likely they're like making fun of you. They're trying to convince you to be like degenerate, to go out and party and hook up and all these things. And the sad thing is, most people will never cut off friends like that, and they'll just stay stuck with that like social life that's just so bad for them. And I'm very surprised, because when I was younger, I heard the advice of like cutting off those bad friends. I'm so surprised I had the balls to do it, honestly. And so I cut them off, and I'll be honest, I was lonely for a while. Like, I didn't have any friends. But then one day I was in class, right? And I remember I was talking with this dude. We were kind of friends from like a year before. And he was just saying some things, like some terminology that we know, like dopamine detox. He was talking about some of the niche health stuff, like, plastics and stuff. And I was just like, oh my God, is this dude just like us? And so I get to talking to him more. And then I realized that he's a lot like me. And so I finally met someone else who's basically on this same path, the same lifestyle as us. And then we're like basically this duo, right? And we start like trying to find another friend, and we meet this guy, and he's also going to the gym. So we kind of bring him into our friend group, and he just starts to adapt to us. Like, he gets into dieting, dopamine detox, all these things. And I'll be honest, when you start to make these kinds of high level friends that will actually like push you to do good and not make fun of you for doing good, like they're not the kind of friends that make fun of you for going to the gym, it starts to have this compound effect. Like, imagine it's really hard to meet the first friend, right? The first friend who is also living this kind of lifestyle. But then it's a lot easier to meet the second friend, because you're already like an established group, and it has like a compounding effect. Now you're like 3 friends. Then imagine how much easier it would be to meet the next person and the next. Right now, me and my friend group is just like a group of 3 guys, but you could see how it would have a compound effect. The hardest part is just meeting that first high level friend. And I have to admit, I was very lucky to meet that first friend, right, in class. But you could still have a really good social life and not have friends that are like high level and disciplined like us. Like, they're not like ultra degenerate, like partying, hooking up, drinking, doing drugs, but they're not like, disciplined like us. They're kind of in the middle. Like, I have this one friend, and we love him, right? He's in the military, so every once in a while he'll come back for like a weekend or maybe a whole week. And he's not really disciplined. Like, he doesn't really go to the gym much. He eats junk food and all. He doom scrolls TikTok, but still, like, we love him because he is just so fun to be around. That's the thing. Like, we'll go out and explore abandoned places, and we just literally like explore places. Like, we were like climbing on the roof of this store the other day. Like, it gets really fun. And the thing is, it's not like 100% productive, we sometimes go to the gym together, but the thing is like, it's not 100% productive. And so some people would feel bad about that. That's the thing. My younger self, I was like, oh, when I'm hanging out with my friends, it has to be productive. It can't be like this fun thing. One thing I want you to realize is, imagine this scenario. Imagine you're in a car, right? You're in a car with this guy, and he's kind of high level like us. Would you rather listen to like an educational podcast and just sit there in silence like this, like driving your car, y'all are both listening, you aren't even talking to each other? You know how boring that would be? Like, it's nice to do that every once in a while to be productive, but you know how boring that would be? You would rather be looking over at the dude and talking to him and being funny and shit, Now, this isn't me shitting on the thing of being productive with a friend. Like, a lot of times me and my friends, we will go to the gym together, we'll sit down, we'll talk about life together, we'll talk about Christianity together, all these things. That's still being social. Just don't be afraid to not be the kind of guy who's like 100% like, oh, I'm monk mode, I gotta be productive all the time, I can't go out and having fun with my friends. Like, Even if it's like just going out and exploring like an abandoned place, for example, that shit isn't productive at all, but it is so fun. I want you to live a kind of lifestyle where it's like, yeah, you're productive, you're disciplined, but even if you can't find the high level friends yet who are also disciplined like us, you could still have a good ass social life when you just go and hang out with friends and it's not even productive. You're not like, they're not ultra degenerate, like they're not like smoking weed, drinking alcohol, you know, going out and partying or whatever. But they're more of that middle ground where they're not gonna make fun of you for, you know, being disciplined, but they're also not gonna be like ultra degenerate and they're not like disciplined like us. It's really fun to hang out with people like that because you could just have a normal social life. You could just go out and do shit. You can go drive to some random park and run around in the woods like we did that the other day. That shit isn't productive, right? But it's just fun. That's what makes your social life. I remember when I cut off my old friends, and dude, I'm still so surprised I had the balls to do that because it is really hard. It's really scary because that's like your only people you probably, chances are you probably grew up with those guys. Like those are my friends all throughout junior high and then early high school is when I started to realize that they weren't really right for me. And it's really hard. It's scary, but I can promise you, you're gonna cut them off. It's gonna be hard for a little bit, but it'll get better. I can promise you that there is hope. Either you meet the high level friends, which is what I did, or you can still meet some guys who like aren't ultra degenerate, but they're still gonna be social with you and y'all can go out and do some fun shit. It's kind of weird that I have to make this video talking about, you know, being social because my younger self, a lot of times, he would be this split, right? He would be with the ultra degenerate friends who were literally like vaping around him and I did not want to be around those guys. Or I would be hanging out with these people and, you know, they weren't like ultra degenerate, but I was like, oh man, they're not disciplined like me. Like I can't be friends with those guys. Yes, you can. You can be friends with them. It's just like you're not going to be bringing them to the gym because they wouldn't want to go to the gym, but you could still have fun with them, and that's what makes your social life. But if you want to learn more about topics like this, dopamine detox, mental health, go check out top link in the description for our community, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.